It's a quiet Tuesday evening. Alex is winding down on his couch, his cat fast asleep at his feet, blissfully unaware of the global shifts happening in real time. Alex is scrolling through his phone, perhaps thinking about his weekend plans. Maybe a road trip to see friends, or just a routine grocery run to stock up for the week. Then, the living room is flooded with a sharp blue glow. The screen changes. A crimson banner flashes. Breaking news. U.S. oil has its biggest one-day price increase in 6 years. For many, this is just a ticker, a distant number on a digital screen. But for Alex, and millions like him, it's a financial earthquake. As news breaks of escalating conflict in the Middle East and explicit threats to the Strait of Hormuz, the global economy isn't just shivering, it's bracing for a total meltdown. Today, we're going beyond the scary headlines. We're looking at exactly why the markets are panicking, how this triggers a domino effect through every single thing you buy, and what the next 12 months look like for an average person like Alex. To understand Alex's future, we have to look at a map. We have to look at the Strait of Hormuz. It is, quite literally, the world's most sensitive oil artery. Imagine a funnel that feeds the entire planet. It's a narrow waterway, where, at its thinnest point, the shipping lanes are only 2 miles wide. Yet, despite its small size, 20% of the world's total oil consumption, nearly 21 million barrels a day, passes right through this corridor. The recent news report highlights a terrifying reality that analysts have feared for decades: the risk of a complete blockage. If that gate closes, we aren't just looking at expensive gas. We're looking at a global energy drought. Think about the math. When supply is suddenly choked off while demand stays the same, the price doesn't just rise, it teleports. Analysts are already whispering about oil hitting $120, even $150 per barrel. We haven't seen numbers like that sustained in a long time, and the global infrastructure isn't currently built to absorb that kind of shock without breaking something. But why does a conflict thousands of miles away matter to Alex on his couch? Because oil is what economists call the master resource. It is the invisible ghost in the machine of modern life. It's the energy that powers the massive container ships bringing electronics from Asia, the freight trains crossing the continent, and the local delivery vans bringing packages to Alex's door. When the source of that energy is choked, the entire world feels the squeeze instantly. It's not just a car problem, it's a everything problem. From the heat in Alex's radiators to the electricity powering his TV, the cost of existence is tied to the price of a barrel of crude. If the price of energy doubles, the cost of doing business doubles. And businesses, especially in a volatile market, don't just eat those costs, they pass them down. In the first 30 days, Alex is going to experience what experts call pump shock. We've already seen gas prices in the UK jump by 20 pence per litre at the pumps in a staggering short window. In the US, some states are reporting 50-cent hikes overnight. For Alex, filling up his tank just went from a $45 chore to a $70 burden. But there's a psychological element here that is arguably more damaging than the math. When gas prices spike, consumer confidence craters. Alex starts feeling gas station anxiety. Every time he passes a station, he looks at the sign with a pit in his stomach. He starts second-guessing every trip. Do I really need to go to the mall? Can I skip that visit to my parents this weekend? Maybe I should cancel that camping trip. This isn't just about the extra $10 per tank. It's the feeling that his freedom of movement, his basic mobility, is being restricted by geopolitical maneuvers halfway across the globe. That anxiety leads to a pulling back in spending, which is the first step toward a broader recession. Now let's look ahead 3 to 6 months. This is where the invisible tax hits. Alex might think he can outsmart the system. I'll just drive less, he tells himself. But Alex can't eat less, or heat his home less. Look around Alex's apartment. Almost every product there was delivered by a heavy-duty truck. Those trucks run on diesel. Unlike passenger cars, there is no electric version of a long-haul fleet ready to take over tomorrow. When diesel prices explode, shipping companies immediately add fuel surcharges. Those surcharges move from the shipping company to the wholesaler, then to the grocery store, and finally to Alex's receipt. This is why a spike in oil is always followed by a spike in the price of bread, milk, and eggs. But it goes deeper. Oil is a key ingredient in synthetic fertilizers. Higher oil means higher farming costs. It's in the plastics of his milk jug. It's in the polyester fibers of his favorite hoodie. Over the next 6 months, Alex will realize his cost of living isn't just rising because of his car. It's rising because the entire physical world just got more expensive to operate. Looking out to the 1-year mark, we face the S word, stagflation. This is the absolute worst case scenario for Alex. It's a toxic cocktail where prices keep rising, inflation, but the economy stops growing, stagnation. Up until this news broke, the Federal Reserve and other central banks were hoping to lower interest rates to make life easier, to make car loans cheaper and mortgages more reachable. But if oil stays at $120, they are trapped. They have to keep interest rates high to fight the energy-driven inflation. For Alex, this means his credit card interest stays punishingly high. His hope for a lower mortgage rate vanishes. Even worse, his employer might look at their skyrocketing utility and shipping bills and decide to freeze hiring or cancel bonuses. It's a cycle of reduced spending power. Alex spends more on gas and food, which means he spends less at local restaurants and shops, which means those businesses struggle, potentially leading to job insecurity for everyone. So, what does Alex do? He can't reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He can't control the price of Brent crude, but he can control his personal economy. Over the next 12 months, the average person will need to pivot. We're talking about aggressive budgeting. Alex is looking at his subscriptions, meal prepping to avoid the high delivery fees that are now surging due to fuel costs, and looking into carpooling. There is a silver lining, though it's a distant one. History shows that these massive oil spikes often act as a catalyst, accelerating the shift toward energy efficiency and renewables. But that's a 5-year fix. For the next 12 months, it's all about resilience, awareness, and staying calm. The world changed in a single news cycle while Alex was sitting on his couch. For him, the oil surge isn't just a headline, it's the start of a challenging year. But by understanding the mechanics of the crisis, he's already one step ahead of the panic. How are the gas prices in your city today? Are you seeing the pump shock yet? Let us know in the comments. Stay informed. Stay prepared. We'll see you in the next one.